The diplomatic quarters aboard the Harmony's Reach were silent at 0300 hours, save for the gentle hum of life support systems. Aaron Vale had finally managed to fall asleep after reviewing tomorrow's cultural exchange protocols for the 15th time. The responsibility of being humanity's first civilian ambassador to the Krithax Empire weighed heavily on her shoulders, though she'd never admit it. She didn't hear the door's security override being bypassed by small, trembling claws. Aaron stirred when something heavy pressed against the side of her bed. Her eyes snapped open, years of survival instinct from Earth's resource wars kicking in, but her hand froze midway to the emergency beacon. In the dim bioluminescent lighting, she saw him, Cub Threx, the youngling of High Commander Volrath and Matriarch Seira, the most powerful Krithax in known space. The cub was massive even for a juvenile, nearly the size of an earth tiger, with obsidian scales that seemed to absorb light and ridge-lined spines running down his back. 3 eyes, arranged in a triangle formation, stared at her with vertical pupils dilated in distress. His usual proud bearing, the one he displayed during formal diplomatic functions, was nowhere to be seen. Instead, he trembled, a low whimper escaping his fanged maw. "Threx?" Aaron whispered, her diplomatic training warring with basic compassion. The Krithax were apex predators from a death world that made Earth look like a vacation resort. Their culture valued strength above all else. Weakness was exile, fear was disgrace. And here was their prince, terrified. The cub's translator collar flickered. "Nightmare," he managed, the word barely audible. "The hunting grounds. Everything burning. Everyone gone. His voice broke into a series of distressed clicks that no translator could render. Aaron's heart, that stubbornly human thing that had gotten her species into trouble and out of it in equal measure, made the decision her brain was still debating. She lifted her blanket. "Come on then." Threx didn't need to be told twice. He scrambled onto the bed with surprising grace for something so frightened, curling against her with his spined head resting near her shoulder. He was warm, almost hot to the touch, and smelled faintly of the synthetic hunting ground oils the Krithax used in their grooming rituals. "It's okay," Aaron murmured, doing what her grandmother had done for her during the food riots of 47. She placed her hand gently on his scaled flank, feeling the rapid drum of his 3-chambered heart. "Dreams can't hurt you. You're safe here." "Humans fear nothing?" Threx asked, his voice small, in a way that would horrify his warrior culture. Aaron laughed softly. "Oh, we fear everything. That's kind of our thing. We're terrified of the dark, of being alone, of loss. We're scared of heights and depths and things that go bump in the night." She continued the slow, soothing strokes along his scales. "But we learned something important. Fear doesn't make you weak. What you do with that fear is what matters. Father says fear is the mind killer. Your father is very wise. But even the strongest warriors have nightmares, Threx. The bravest thing you did tonight wasn't slaying some imaginary monster. It was admitting you needed help and seeking it out." The cub's breathing began to slow, his trembling subsiding. "You will not tell the court?" "Diplomatic immunity, little prince. What happens in the ambassador's quarters stays in the ambassador's quarters." Threx made a sound that might have been a laugh. Within minutes, his breathing evened out into the deep rhythm of sleep. Aaron found herself drifting off as well, one hand still resting protectively on the small apex predator who had sought refuge in the most unlikely place. Dawn came swiftly aboard the Harmony's Reach, simulated by the ship's systems to match Krithax's circadian rhythms. Aaron woke to find Threx still curled against her, now purring in his sleep, a sound like distant thunder. She also woke to find High Commander Volrath and Matriarch Seira standing at the foot of her bed. Every diplomatic protocol she'd memorized fled her mind. The 2 Krithax were enormous, their battle-scarred scales telling stories of conquered worlds and defeated enemies. Volrath's 4 arms were crossed, his expression unreadable. Seira's crest was fully extended, a display that could signal anything from aggression to extreme displeasure. "Ambassador Vale." Volrath's voice rumbled like tectonic plates shifting. "I can explain," Aaron started. "Our son has had night terrors since the attack on his creche world," Seira interrupted, her translator collar barely containing the complex harmonic layers of her speech. 14 sleep cycles. He has told no one. Suffered alone, as our culture demands. Yet he came to you, Volrath continued. A human. A species we initially dismissed as soft, weak, unsuited for the stars. Aaron's mouth went dry. This was it. The diplomatic incident that would end humanity's fragile alliance with the Krithax Empire. Then Sayra did something unprecedented. She lowered her crest, a gesture of profound respect. In our culture, we teach our young to stand alone, to face darkness with fangs bared, but perhaps, she glanced at her mate, perhaps we have forgotten that even apex predators are still children first. Volrath moved closer, his massive form somehow gentle as he regarded his sleeping son. Humans have a saying, I have learned, it takes a village to raise a child. The Krithax have no such wisdom. We have been diminished by its absence. You're not angry? Aaron managed. Angry? Sayra's 3 eyes gleamed with something that might have been amusement. Ambassador, you have done what our entire court could not. Our son sleeps peacefully. Without sedatives or honor shame, you offered comfort with no expectation of strength returned. She paused. This is why your species survived your violent world. Not despite your compassion, but because of it. Threx stirred, his eyes blinking open. For a heartbeat, fear flashed across his young face, seeing his parents. Then he saw his mother's lowered crest. His father's gentle posture. Come, little hunter, Volrath said softly. Let us speak of nightmares, and the courage to seek dawn. As the Krithax family left, Sayra turned back. Ambassador Vale. The treaty negotiations today. Humanity has earned more than alliance. You have earned friendship, and the Krithax do not forget such debts. Alone again, Aaron sat on her bed, still warm from an apex predator's trust, and smiled. Humanity had reached the stars not through superior weapons or faster ships, but through something simpler and infinitely more powerful. The willingness to extend kindness to a frightened child, no matter how many scales or spines they wore. Outside her window, the stars beckoned, full of possibility and hope. The HFY universe had just become a little bit brighter.